Hey guys, what's up? I just got back from my first laser hair removal treatment and I'm here to tell you guys a bit about what that experience was like. Okay, so I didn't actually just get back. I didn't get a chance to take a shower this morning, so I did that first. So it's probably been about an hour and a half total since the finish of my treatment. Now that was enough time for most of the swelling and redness and irritation to go away, but as you can still see, things are still a little bit irritated all around there. You'll also notice that there's these like really black specks that look like hairs sticking out there, and that's actually kind of what those are. So the way laser hair removal works is there's a laser beam that travels down the shaft of the hair into the follicle and kills the hair, and the skin rejects it. Now this is only going to be able to remove hair that's what's called in the follicle, which there's no way of knowing exactly how much hair is in the follicle at any given time, so today's treatment may have removed anywhere, you know, any percentage of the hair. It could have been 20%, it could have been 90%, there's really no way of knowing. So with that being said, I still have 5 treatments left, which are going to take place every 4 weeks, so my next treatment is 4 weeks from today. And then generally just those, by the end of the 6th treatment, all the hairs are gone. So there's actually 2 different types of machines that they were using in the office I went to. One was a slightly larger machine that had kind of a suction cup thingy on it, and it was used with like, there was a vacuum compressor that's part of the machine, and they would put it on your face, and the suction thingy would kind of suction up your skin and pull it up, and then it would zap, and I guess obviously that was the laser. But the zap, depending on the area it was in, some areas actually felt kind of nice, but then areas like more along here was where it started to actually really sting whenever it would zap. But it was really weird because it would feel like it was basically zapping one spot, but it would be, you know, getting all the hairs in that area that it was covering, which was kind of a long-shaped area. That was actually the easier, less painful machine. I was able to get through that part of the treatment all in one step. The next machine was more painful. This was a smaller machine that had just kind of like, it really looked like a laser gun of some kind. It had like a tip at the end of it. And it was a square-shaped tip. It was smooth glass-like, I guess. Anyway, this little machine, they put some kind of gel on there. I think she said it was called, like, conductivity gel or something like that. I'm sure it served some other purpose, given the name of it, but, like, it definitely helped with cooling and comforting. And I'm really glad it was there because this machine hurt a lot more. So this machine is, I mean, it hurt, but it was really kind of like a really neat, interesting feeling. Okay, so if you've ever, like, given plasma or have had any reason otherwise to, like, get a little finger stick done to get blood out for any reason, they use this little cartridgey needly thingy, and it just shoots the needle into your skin and it's done. And this machine basically felt like it was doing like 10 of those all at once in one place whenever they would zap it. Now, the bigger one they use for areas like kind of the beard area and the neck, and then the smaller one they use mainly for like the chin and then the upper lip area. And when they were doing that, they just kind of zap and then move along and zap, and that one I had to stop about 3 or 4 times while we were doing that, although my nurse practitioner said that I was actually like the most impressive person she had seen as far as tolerating it. So basically what they explained is what's actually happening is when they're zapping it down and everything's going to the root of the hair, a lot of those hairs actually are jumping out, which is part of what that feeling is, which is kind of funny to imagine, but that's literally what was going on. Like, you could see the little black specks on my face, and these are kind of a fallout, I guess, of like dead hairs that the body is expelling that didn't quite expel themselves by like jumping the hair out while we were doing it. Anyway, when we were done, there was just like a ton of these black things and specks just all over my face. It looked like someone had just ground a bunch of pepper onto my face. So they gave me a little paper towel to wipe those off, and I spent a little bit wiping those off, and then I noticed that there's still some, you know, little hairs in there that look like they were starting to come out, and I noticed with a couple of them that were out just a little bit, I went ahead and decided to see if I could just like grab them and pull them the rest of the way out, and they did come out very easily. Now, the ones you see on my face now actually were not visible when I was at the office. Those are ones that my body is pushing out right now, which is a process that they said should be finished up by tonight, but in some cases can take several days or several weeks for the body to expel the rest of those hairs. In the meantime, the best way to get them off is with like a wet towel. You just want to avoid any kind of exfoliating for at least 24 hours. You also don't want to use tweezers to remove any of it because that would interfere with the actual laser hair removal process. And plus, like, some of the hairs may not actually be hairs that they were able to get. They may still be in there, and if you pull those out, it's just really gonna fuck things up. It felt like a sunburn pretty much right after it was done, and for about the first 30 minutes, but that pain eased off pretty quickly to where about most of the car ride home, it felt like just a really badly done dry shave with a dull razor, where you just really want some aftershave afterwards. Now it really doesn't feel all that bad at all. Like, the area is still a bit sensitive, but not, you know, in a kind of actual active pain. And as far as I can tell so far, my face is doing fine. There's no blistering or anything, although that is a potential for that to happen. If that does happen to you when you're getting laser hair treatment, you can call the treatment center that you're going to, and they'll be able to help with what to do in that situation. As long as there's no blistering, though, you can use makeup right away afterwards, although they recommend using new makeup to make sure that you don't cause any possible risk of, like, infection. The only real restrictions afterwards are to treat the skin gently, no scratching or picking or otherwise irritating it, and you want to avoid sunlight on the treated area for at least 10 days, because that can cause hyperpigmentation and things like that, which would just be really bad. So they recommend, like, not going out if possible and using sunscreen, limiting exposure to that area if you absolutely must go out in the sunlight. Other than that, that's pretty much it as far as aftercare. The skin is actually already really, really smooth. In the couple of areas where the hairs are just now starting to fall out, you can definitely feel the hair in those areas feels a little bit stubbly, but like before the hair was starting to pull out in those areas when I had already gotten everything that jumped out wiped off my face, it was like smooth as a fucking baby's rear end. It definitely makes me a lot happier now, even just after that one treatment. It's like I can kind of feel the fact that it's like the hairs are not in there. It's like the couple of times that I have plucked like a couple individual facial hairs just to see what it was like, there was this instant kind of relief of feeling that that hair was gone and not in that follicle and just kind of out of my body anymore. And I'm definitely feeling like so much of that right now. Like, it's weird to think of or say, but I can just tell just the feeling of how much hair is no longer in my face, and it's like everything is just breathing. And I know it sounds crazy, but it just feels really, really wonderful. It's actually gonna feel even better after I go grab a wet wash rag and like clean up what's starting to come out right now, so I'm gonna go do that. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, be yourself.